Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. A little rest stop here from the first video I made today, and we're going to discuss the US hypocrisy and how much Trump cares about the little people and how much actually he cares for the big business. And that is in the context of Chinese airlines. Remember, I can place sanctions on you and I can eliminate you from competing against me on certain markets. But if you do the same thing to me, that's not right. Why? Because I'm good and you are bad. This is the dogma. This is like childhood. This is like Humpty Dumpty. This is like, how do you call that, science fiction movies. This is like, I was about to say it, you know what I mean, kind of writings. So what do we have here? I have two articles in which Trump will try to bar Chinese airlines flying over Russia on U.S. U.S. flights. Why? I will show you. That's the first one. The second one, something that's obvious. U.S. war on drugs is just another regime change attempt. I think that's determined to be so. And the third one, Trump suggests throwing Spain out of NATO. Why? You don't pay up, man. We need money. It's like religion. They all do it okay, but they need money all the time. They beg for money. Well, you know why. All right, let's go. It's kind of windy. Maybe it's going to be rainy today, a little bit. But it's beautiful anyway. Look at that sky. It's a lot of bald eagles. Not today. I woke up with bald eagles and with crows and a little chipmunk trying to say good morning, I guess. So let's start with the first topic. U.S. threatens Chinese airlines flying over Russia. Why? Well, let's see why. American carriers allegedly face an unfair disadvantage as Russian airspace is closed to them but open to Chinese companies. Why is the Russian airspace closed to the American airlines carriers? Because the Russian carriers were banned over Europe and I think over the United States of America, if there's any. Why? Because of the sanctions. So the Americans sanctioned these guys, the Russians, and say, we're not going to allow your companies to compete with ours. Therefore, we're going to make a profit, our companies. But when the Russians said, okay, we're going to match that, the same thing, everybody said what? We don't care, man. We don't care what the Russians are doing. We're strong, man. Who are the Russians? And who's crying now? The Americans. Why? Because the Russians did the same thing the other guys did. And it's the Chinese companies. It's not even the Russian companies. So the Chinese companies are allowed. The Americans are not to fly over the Russian airspace. But in America, the Chinese are allowed. The Russians are not allowed. And this guy is crying that the Chinese have an unfair advantage. How about, do you remember gas in Europe? Do you remember what happened in Europe? When Americans told the Europeans to sanction themselves and bar Russian gas little by little, and they stopped the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines, they're gone. Remember? All right, if you remember that one, who came to help? The American liquefied natural gas companies. They filled the gap by kicking the competition out. Not the competition, the competition that could not be competed against. The Russian natural gas through pipelines is much cheaper than the liquefied natural gas, about 4 times. Okay? So they did it. And what did the Russians do? Okay, we're going to look somewhere else. And the American says, oh, let's stop the Russians. Let's turn like this because the wind blows from the southwest actually. So what they say, it's okay, we're going to adapt. We're going to do exactly what you did. We're going to look for a different market. Oh, you can't do that. Now, they imposed sanctions on the Russians, and now the Russians adapted, and these guys are crying. Well, how about you do what you say you do? Free marketplace capitalism. No? No. And who do you think pushed Trump to do this? The little people? Do you think is little people, not the midgets I'm talking about? That's the word. Anyway, not little people. Fuck me, Freddy. Remember, when these guys are telling us, or Trump signs an executive order against this, and everybody, see, a promise is made, promise is kept. we the people, we are just the collateral. It's like the interstate system, highway system in the US built by General Eisenhower when he became president in the 50s. It was built on the model of evil Nazis' freeway system. It's copied 100%. Why? It was built for a fast transfer of troops, military troops. That was it. And then it went into business. The business transport. That's why we have the freeways here, not for you to go up north and have fun at the Lake Michigan or something. No, that's not it. It's for this big military and industrial reasons. So we are a consequence. We are just like a little fish, like the bottom feeders. Whatever falls from the big guys, we get. The same here. Do you think this guy, oh my God, I'm going to save American jobs? That's an conclusion or an aftermath, a consequence of this. But that's not the main point. That's not the main reason. And this is what these guys say. The administration of the United States of America has proposed, let me get here and cover it here, has proposed barring the Chinese airlines from flying over Russia on routes to and from America. Reuters reported on Friday. The U.S. Transportation Department said using Russian airspace gives Chinese carrier an unfair competitive edge. Why? Because you barred the Russians, and the Russian says, we're going to bar you. And now you're crying like a bitch? These guys are doing this, and it's going to be showing on us, on the consumer. The unfair competition will have companies sell products more expensive than otherwise provided by other companies. That is, I provide, I don't know, a blowjob with $5, someone provides it with $9. Because those guys know Trump, they will get me out of business by sanctions, by extra tariffs. So when you want a blowjob, you're not going to have it for $5. You're going to have it for $9. I don't know what I mean. Try to make it funny a little bit. I know people say, oh my God, that's awful. Well, swallow, $5. There you go. That's the last price. Take it or leave it. Swallow it or leave it. Or spit it. All right. So that's that's the way it is, man. So you're going to have $9 a blowjob instead of $5 because you could have it for $5. You're probably going to have it for $3. But these guys politically barred those. Why? In the name of good. And who's making the profit? The companies, not you. Everything's going to be on you. So that's why these guys are crying like bitches, and that's not right. Trump proposes barring Chinese airlines flying over Russia on U.S. flights. Reuters, the same subject. Next one. Let me go. I tried to give you a little bit of a different take on the property here, on the sanctuar sacro. That's what I call it. Sacred sanctuary. Not sanctuary that I will not shoot animals here or something. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to shoot anybody here. I mean, sorry. I'm not going to shoot animals, wild animals, not humans acting wildly. They're not exempt. If they come here and say, fuckers. Anyway, I'm going to protect my life. And because I'm very scared. Okay, what the hell am I going? It's right here. It's a big wall, so I don't know how I'm going to go through it. I don't like going through. Oh, here is a deer mark. Right there, deer track. Big one. It's a very big deer. But I'm not going to kill them. I'm not going to kill any animal, as I said here. Yeah. I'm a hunter. Let me put it like this. I'm a hunter, but no, not on my property. On other people's property, yeah, let's go. All right, so what was I talking about? The next topic, my friends. The next topic is U.S. war on drugs is just another regime change attempt. I think that is 100% true. At least 21 Venezuelans have been killed by the American troops for, and I'm quoting, it's in quotation marks, narco-trafficking without evidence, judge or jury. They're human beings. So you can't really do that, can you? You can't really do that. I mean, you can if you're strong enough and you don't care about everybody and you expect everybody to think that you're still great when you actually are not. Let me put my goggles to read a little bit something. There you go. Trapazapa. All right, I can't take my hat off. You're gonna see me like Ace Ventura. My hair was like Ace Ventura's is today. I'm not going to provide you with that kind of... All right, let's see what these guys are saying. The United States is once again targeting Venezuela in Washington's long quest for regime change in the country. What the Trump administration falsely claims is a war against so-called Venezuela drug smugglers has been the extrajudicial killing of 21 Venezuelans in the past weeks. U.S. troops, aircraft and warships have been moved near Venezuelan waters, which some fear indicates a coming U.S. war on the country. Yeah, indicates clearly. The U.S. made several separate attacks over the course of the past month on board of One would think that the largely appropriate way to deal with drugs trafficking, if that is in fact what the Venezuelans were to begin with, would be to arrest them and put them on trial. No? But you designate them by a new name and you say that's not how we do it, business here. All right, so, but instead, right here, instead the men were killed on sight, apparently with missiles that could conveniently destroyed all the evidence. Trump's justification was to claim that they were extraordinary violent drugs trafficking cartels and narco-terrorists and that they pose a threat to the U.S. national security, foreign policy and vital U.S. interests. It's like, I want to get your house and I just call you a threat to my existence and I'm going to take it. What am I going to do? Can you punch me back? If you can, good for you, but not really. So my friends, that's the next one. And we're going to go to, let me say here. It says, according to Arlachi, Colombia produces over 70% of the world's cocaine. Colombia. Oh, why Venezuela? Well, Venezuela has the biggest oil reserves in the world, my friends, by far. So now you know exactly. Well, geographically, Venezuela is disadvantaged for all three main routes. As it borders the South Atlantic, criminal logistics mean that Venezuela plays only a marginal role in the grand theater of international narco trafficking. I'm for fighting those guys. I'm all for it. But hey, let's start with fighting the corruption in America first. And then we can go to that one too. And if it's so, let's go to Mexico. We do the same thing. Opa, what's going on, bird? Let's go to Trump suggests throwing Spain out of NATO. He's not going to do that. He will never do that. He will never throw out a country out of NATO. Why? They will threaten them, but it's not going to happen. Because if they do that, other countries say, okay, I'm leaving NATO too. It's going to be United States of America, Great Britain, Canada, and other, I was about to say cocksuckers. I said it. All right, so Madrid has been the only laggard in the bloc's push for increased military spending, the US president has said. Well, kick me out. What are you going to do? Why, I'm afraid you protect me from Russia? Look on the map. Before Russia comes to Spain, has to go over Slovakia or Poland, Germany, France, and then get to us. And we're going to say, hey, we love you. We love you like Mr. Franco, General Franco loved the and they were not attacked by the on the contrary, they were helped by them to fight the socialists, remember? I'm talking about the Germans. All right, my friends, here it is. This is the second video. I'm going to make another two, probably. One for sure, regarding the Israel-Palestine peace process. And supposedly the Israelis stopped firing. And Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, Hamas will release all the Jewish Israelis prisoners. And guess what? They will not. Therefore, the ceasefire was violated. Therefore, let's go. We still have things to do, right? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.